Auf deiner Telegram-Plattform sprichst du von der bevorstehenden Lieferung von ATACMS-Raketen seitens der Vereinigten Staaten an die Ukraine. Erneut werden in den westlichen Medien Vorstellungen genährt, diese Raketen mit einer Reichweite von bis zu 300 Kilometern könnten einen Wendepunkt im Ukraine-Krieg markieren. Von einer Wunderwaffe ist die Rede. Kannst du bitte zuerst unseren Zuschauern erläutern, was das ATACMS genau ist, welche Stärken es hat und so weiter? Welchen Nutzen kann dieses System für die Ukraine haben? Welche Schwierigkeiten gibt es? Du sprichst von Schwierigkeiten bei der Adaption in die militärische Infrastruktur der Ukraine.
Well, first of all, even though we have now passed money for this and the president has signed this saying that he will send ATACMS, we've already sent ATACMS to Ukraine. The White House has admitted that since March, we've been sending a considerable number of ATACMS to Ukraine, and that Ukraine has used the ATACMS missiles on several occasions against the Russians. Now, last time I checked, the Russians were still advancing, still killing the Ukrainians, still dominating the battlefield. So that tells you everything you need to know about the effectiveness of ATACMS on the battlefield. It's a weapon. It's a weapon that has great capabilities. It can deliver precision strikes up to 300 kilometers in an enemy's depth. But now that's 300 kilometers from the forward edge of the battle area. That means you're right up front, you fire 300 kilometers. Any ATACMS missile that gets that close to the front line will be destroyed instantaneously because the Russians have drone dominance going up to maybe 20, 50 kilometers in. So now we have to have ATACMS back at the so suddenly it's only 250 kilometers depth, but I actually it's going to come down to 200 because they have to be even further. But it's going to be even more than that because the Russian Su-34s now drop these fab bombs with the wings and the guide system, and they can reach even deeper in. So now it's pushed back, and we're seeing that the ATACMS isn't quite the weapon system everybody wants it to be because it's not immortal. It's on a vehicle like the HIMARS vehicle, but instead of having the HIMARS multiple launch rocket system, they removed that and they put the singular pod that fires the ATACMS missile. It's going to be even worse now because there is no air defense umbrella. Now, there's supposedly some Patriot systems coming in and some Patriot missiles, but how are they going to get to the front line? Because there is no air defense umbrella. So you have to move these people in while Russian air power is dominating. Things are going to be destroyed. The ATACMS will have zero impact on the battlefield. One, the guidance system of the ATACMS is an inertial, is a combined inertial GPS guidance system, very similar to that used by the HIMARS system. The Russians have adapted very well. They jam the HIMARS system. It no longer enjoys the kind of guaranteed accuracy. The vast majority of the missiles are jammed. They go stupid. They fly elsewhere. They don't hit the target. The Russians have also developed a firing solution with the air defense for the HIMARS, and they're shooting down the majority of the HIMARS that are launched. The ATACMS will be jammed effectively, and it will be shot down effectively. Will some ATACMS get through? Yes, of course. It's war. No one side is perfect. The ATACMS will be backed by all of the intelligence that the United States and NATO can provide Ukraine. They will look for seams in Russian air defense. They will try to get real-time intelligence about Russian vulnerabilities. And if you can link a seam in the air defense with a identified vulnerability, you can get an ATACMS launch without being interdicted, it's going to hit the target and it's going to kill Russians. This will happen. Russians are going to die, but it's not going to change the outcome. The Russians, they're a nation that has learned how to take a punch. This isn't a boxer with a glass jaw that gets in the ring, and the first time somebody hits him in the jaw, down they go. This is a boxer's conditioned to fight 15 rounds and stay standing for 15 rounds. There's nobody else in the world that is able to stay standing for 15 rounds. The Russians can take a punch, and they can deliver a knockout punch. The ATACMS, it represents some nice jabs, maybe a nice hook, maybe an undercut every now and then, or uppercut, but it's not a knockout punch. The Russians will be able to solve this problem as they've solved any other problem.